If you have restarted the same diet more than once, listen close. The bug is usually not that you forgot what protein is. The bug is that real life keeps pressure testing your plan until something snaps. Stress, bad sleep, social food, boredom, and a packed schedule do not care about your spreadsheet. This video names the failure modes in order so you stop attacking your character and start fixing the real leak. Most people already know the basics. Protein, whole foods, portions. The hard part is repeating them when motivation drops, sleep breaks, and Friday night shows up anyway. That is the gap where diets die quietly, and it is also where viewers bounce unless they see what is actually breaking. Stay with me, because the next segments map the traps one by one. I am not here to launch a new diet brand at you. I am here to give you a clean map. People repeat the same 4 failure modes, then call it weak willpower. When you can name the mode, you stop spiraling after a slip. You fix the system instead of insulting yourself. That shift alone is worth the watch time. Here is the roadmap, and this is why you should stay. First, adherence, why perfect plans die in messy weeks. Second, expectations, why unrealistic speed makes people quit early. Third, psychology, why restriction rebounds. Fourth, environment, why your kitchen beats motivation posters. By the end you should know which lever matters most for you, not a generic lecture. Layer 1 is adherence. Calories still matter for fat loss, but your body does not receive a spreadsheet. It receives your real week. If the plan is too tight for your job, your sleep, and your social life, you do not fail because you are weak. You fail because the plan never fit the container of your life. Think of adherence as the ceiling on how many honest weeks you can stack in a row. If the ceiling is low, the math never gets enough runway to show up where you can see it. Read the comparison like a scoreboard. Perfect days feel good, but repeated weeks decide body composition. A strict plan that works for 3 days and collapses on day 4 is not a win. A boring plan you can repeat is closer to the real game. This frame is the honest list. Sleep debt raises cravings. Stress raises food noise. Time pressure pushes convenience food. Social events add calories that your plan pretends do not exist. Ignore those forces and you will keep wondering why willpower fails at the same hour every night. The rule is simple. Pick the version you can still run when the week is ugly. That is how you give the deficit enough runway to matter. Clever rules that only work in perfect conditions are not discipline. They are a setup. Layer 2 is expectations. If you expect the scale to move like an influencer timeline, you will feel behind by week 2. That feeling is not proof the diet failed. It is proof your timeline was fantasy. Fat loss is often slower than pride wants, and still real. When you feel behind on a lie timeline, you quit good methods too early, or you chase reckless shortcuts that break adherence later. Aggressive targets spike hunger, spike obsession, and raise the odds you snap back to old habits. Fast progress can happen early, but it is not free. The rebound is the hidden bill. Better expectations buy patience, and patience buys consistency. Stop comparing your week to someone else's highlight reel. You do not see their team, their chef, their history, or their editing. Compare yourself to your own last month, not to a stranger's camera angle. That comparison error alone ruins adherence. The rule is direction over perfection. Miss one meal, fix the next. Miss one day, fix the week. All or nothing thinking turns a small slip into a full exit. That exit is a choice pattern, not a metabolism mystery. Layer 3 is psychology. When calories crash and protein is weak, your brain turns food into a louder signal. That is not moral failure. It is predictable biology under pressure. If your plan feels like punishment, your brain will negotiate with you at 9 p.m. You white-knuckle, then rebound, then feel guilt, then restart harder. That loop is exhausting, and it trains you to believe you cannot trust yourself. The fix is not a sterner voice. The fix is a plan with guardrails that do not require hero mode every night. Emotional eating is real, and it is not solved by yelling at yourself. If food is the fastest relief you have, your job is to widen the toolbox slowly. Sleep, walks, protein-forward meals, and honest portions beat shame spirals. The rule is guardrails. Make the default meal good enough, make protein non-negotiable most days, and make recovery fast after a slip. Punishment plans create secrecy. Guardrail plans create consistency. Layer 4 is environment. Willpower is limited. If junk is the default snack and your schedule leaves no cooking window, you are not failing a diet. You are fighting your own house. Change defaults first, then talk about discipline. Use the split as a checklist. Protein raises satiety. Steps raise output without drama. Sleep lowers cravings. Meal prep removes the 6 p.m. panic. None of these are glamorous. They are the boring infrastructure that keeps a diet alive. Bad weeks happen. Travel happens. Stress happens. A simple system survives because it has fewer moving parts. One protein anchor, one walking habit, one honest portion rule. Complexity breaks first. The rule is design. Build a week you can live, not a week you can post. Defaults win because they remove hundreds of small decisions that drain you before dinner even starts. If your environment keeps asking for willpower, you will lose eventually, because willpower is a small daily budget, not a personality trait you can crank forever. Here is the order that holds up: set realistic speed, choose a plan you can repeat, build guardrails instead of punishment, then shape your environment so the default meal is not sabotage. Motivation shows up more often when the system is not constantly breaking you. If you only remember one line, remember this. Fix adherence before you chase novelty. Most people do not need a stranger's meal plan. They need fewer leaks in the same week. The win is fewer dramatic restarts. The win is a diet that still works when life is mid. That is how you finally give fat loss enough weeks to show up on the scale and in the mirror. If you want staying power in real life, not just on a calendar, you want a boring system that survives a bad week and still lets you recover fast. That is the difference between people who stay on track and people who disappear for a month after one rough weekend. Next, zoom out to the full nutrition framework so you stop collecting random rules and start seeing the whole board. Calories, protein, carbs and fats, micronutrients, and habits that actually stick.